Welcome to this HL7 demonstration. In this demonstration, we're going to show how we process an HL7 message using the SecuPi command line interface to anonymize, encrypt, mask certain values in an HL7 message. To do that, we have here a sample of SAU. This is a batch message, so it basically contains a batch header with the message headers, where we have multiple messages, right? So multiple messages with multiple message headers, and we are going to process all those and especially look at the sensitive data available in the patient ID record, the patient ID segment inside each message, and try to anonymize some of the data inside. So to do that, we use the SecuPi command line. We take the input. Let's have a look at the script we're going to run. So that's the script. We're basically running the SecuPi processor, giving it the command to encrypt with a policy on an input file and an output file. Right, so we just looked at the input file, so that's the input. Let's run the script and have a look at the output as well. So once we run the tool is basically running the SecuPi agent. It's loading the agent from the SecuPi management server, running the process, and then completing. Now that we have the output completed, we have an out file, right? If you remember, we were putting the output file on the HL7 folder in an out format, and let's have a look at that and see what we can see. So as you can see, it's still valid. It's hard to say it's valid, but yeah, it's basically a valid document, still with multiple messages. But this time we can see that the PID has changed, right? We can see that the names, the first name, the last name, date of birth, street, country, right, are either encrypted, right? In this case, they're encrypted. In that case, they're masked, right? So let's have a look at. Let's do a diff between those two files. So this is the first one, and this is the output, right? And we can see that, right, that if we look at the PID, so here we have the original data, and with the original date of birth and the original name and the original family name and street and location. So those are not available at the outputs. Sometimes they're masked, and sometimes they're encrypted, as we can see in this case. So how did we do that? Basically, if you remember, we had this we have this policy, HL7 test. Let's jump into the SecuPi management server and have a look at the policy. So here we have HL7 test, which basically, let's jump into this section. It basically has a structure that is showing the column, right? Which column or which field we want to encrypt. The syntax that we use here is the name of the segment, and then the sequence number, and then the field that we want to encrypt or mask within that sequence. And then per each entry we want to encrypt or mask, we define the key and the type of masking or encryption that we use. If we look at the PID one, this is the last name, first name, right? So we can edit that. So PID 5 and sequence 2 is the last name. So we are using an ASCII format preserving encryption with digits and numbers with a key called my key number 2. On, for example, the PID 11, which is the address, part of the address, we just do generic masking, so we X out the contents. If we look at the data here, we can see that we still have a country code here exposed. This is, I think, PID 12. Let's try to do something with that. So if we have, let's just duplicate the PID 11 and put PID 12 and just mask it, right? Let's use Y for masking, just so it will be interesting, right? So let's save it, and now simply run the processor, and then look at the output and see what we have there. And now let's, now that we're done, let's do the diff again. We can see that the country code was masked for all those PID records with a YYY. This is all. Thank you.